Hi everybody, my name is Mike Montgomery, and today I'm going to be showing you how you can build your very own dining table on Modern Builds.
So for the tabletop, I'm using 4 6-foot 1x10s, and I'm marking and cutting them all to the same length. Now you're going to want to save and number all of these offcuts so that you can match them up later with the original board. And if you don't have a chop saw, no worries, you can do this whole project with a circular saw. And here I'm just making marks where I'm going to be using my doweling jig. I'm going to be using 3/8 inch dowels. Now this is going to give the tabletop a lot of extra strength, and it's really going to help everything stay lined up whenever I glue it up. Next, I cut 2 6-foot 1x4s to the same length as my tabletop. I'm gluing these up on the bottom side of the tabletops on each edge. This is going to make it look like the tabletop is thicker and make it stronger. Next, I cut some horizontal supports for the bottom of the table out of 2 8-foot 1x4s. Now this glue up was too big for my workbench, so I moved to the floor and used some 2x4s to help keep everything flat. Now normally a glue up of this size is a little bit of a nightmare, but since I used dowels, everything just slid together and lined up perfectly. With the glue wet, I went ahead and screwed in all of my horizontal supports. This is going to help the tabletop stay as flat as possible. And once I had enough of those stretchers going across, I was able to take off my clamps and just let the screws hold everything together while it dried. And now here is why you need to save and mark all of your offcuts from the beginning. Using offcuts from a matching board is really going to help the grain flow through that piece and make it look a lot more natural. Once everything had dried overnight, I used my belt sander with 180 grit and did a really light sanding to flatten everything out as well as get any nicks and dings out of the board. I also used it to sand the two boards on my edges flush. And I used a straight edge and my circular saw to trim the ends square. The masking tape's just there to help prevent any tear out. And with everything squared up, I sanded to 220 grit.
Now for this project, I'm going to be using Hairpin Legs. This is the 28-inch set from the company called Industrial by Design. If you remember back to my live edge coffee table build, I used their 16-inch set, and I really loved the way they look and how everything came out. So I'm using them again. Now this is my second time using Hairpin Legs, and I really love the way they look. They make any project look a little more mid-century modern, plus the raw metal that I'm using on these really give it an industrial feel. Now you can either get these in a powder-coated black or the raw steel like I have, and the really cool thing is they ship through Amazon, so if you've got a Prime account, you can get these things in 2 days, which is awesome. Now I'm going to be leaving product links in the description as well as links to Industrial by Design's website, so make sure and check those out. And if you don't already have Amazon Prime, I'm going to be putting a link to a 30-day free trial in the description as well. Let's put these things on.
So I simply measured 1.5 inches in from each edge, and the corner that it gave me, I used to line up the leg. Now I love using hairpin legs, or really any prefab legs, because it makes a project go really, really fast. Plus, I get to add some metal accents where I normally wouldn't be able to because I don't know how to weld. For my finish, I'm going with the tried and true dark walnut Danish oil. Now this soft pine really soaked up the finish. I went through about 3/4 of a can in one coat. And that's all there is to it. Now I think this table is really cool, and I really love how the simple tabletop really gives way to the unique hairpin legs. I think the dark walnut Danish oil was a great pair for this wood, and it really showed off some really cool grain features in it. And one thing that I'm really excited about is how well the end grain and the edge grain came out. It matches really well, and on first glance, you really don't even notice the fact that it's two boards most of the time. Plus, it was strong enough to hold me, so I'm okay with it.
So yeah, this project is really cool, and one of the awesome things about it is you can resize the table for whatever size you need. You can get longer 1x10s, you can get shorter 1x10s. This size can comfortably sit 6 people, 2 on each sides and 1 on the ends, and it's a really good average size dining table. If this is your first time on my channel, I want to say welcome and subscribe, because I put out a new project video every week, and you'll definitely want to stick around and check those out. If you've got any questions, make sure and leave a comment. I try to get to all of those and answer those as soon as possible. If you want to keep up with me throughout the week, don't forget to follow me on Instagram. That is my social media of choice. And make sure and check out Industrial by Design's website. They've got all kinds of cool hairpin legs, as well as some new products that they're coming out with that I'll be doing future projects with. So thanks again, guys, for watching. Don't forget to hit that like button if you enjoyed it, and we'll see you next week on Modern Builds.